How to talk game with girls to fuck on Tinder. So, my promise to you from watching this video, okay? You're gonna achieve results with girls pretty easily if you just stick with me. I promise you're gonna really like this, okay? So here's some of the results that you can expect to get. These are the results my guys have gotten, and these are the results that I've gotten. So I want you to know your results may vary, they may not vary. I'm gonna be 100% transparent and honest with you, but majority of the time it does go like this. Anyway, so I'm not going to try to fight for your dopamine and try to use retention hooks, this or that, okay? I'll be 100% honest with you. I'm just here to provide value, and that's it, okay? So my knowledge comes from servicing and running over 100 Tinder accounts in the last year, just like this one over here. This is what I do. I run Tinder accounts, and that's how I get knowledge. So I'll be explaining to you how I got this knowledge and how it all works. So yeah, let's get started with this tactical guide. Let's kick things off. So we're going to be going for a few stages here, and the first stage is the principle of flirting. So yeah, starting off, we're going to talk about how you can flirt with girls. So let me just make this full screen for you. So if you're focusing in and dialing in, it's going to get really good now. So yeah, starting off, flirting is an art. Guys, you need to understand, it's not meant to be like this forced thing. You can't be logical with it. It's seduction, not rape. Now, I know that sounds a little bit ludicrous, but a lot of guys are very forceful and they get very confused when girls don't accept them, or girls, they get confused, right? And I'll keep it as like light as I can, but you get the point, right? So what does flirting look like? Well, this is an example of what flirting is meant to be, and I'm going to be breaking down exactly what I was thinking when I was sending these text messages and what was going through my head, so you can understand how it all works, right? So you're going to learn from an expert. You're going to apply these into your own dating life, and you're going to get pretty good results. So if you do it correctly, it can land you with really cute girls. And I mean, seriously, you can land pretty cute girls, even if you don't think this girl is cute. Fair enough. Everyone's got types. Some guys like bigger girls. Guys like different ethnic minorities, girls, whatever. Right? Everyone's got a taste. But this girl, I can definitely say is at least like a 7 out of 10 or something, right? And a lot of guys, would die to be with her. So yeah, flirting carries beyond texting as well. This is another point as well. Flirting is a skill for your dates too. So if you want to, go on dates with an attractive woman, and you're texting and this and that, texting is only a part of the game. You got to get both parts in. So this is going to be actually a 2-part video. Part 2 is going to come out probably this week or next week, and that's going to be how you handle the dates, but this is going to focus primarily on texting and how you flirt over text, so watch out for part 2. Anyway, I'm going to be breaking down the core concepts of flirting on text for you in this video. So let's use Martha, a girl from Tinder that one of my guys slept with. So as you can see, this is Martha. That's the guy on the left, and he slept with her. He did, a bunch of things, whatever he wants to, right? So yeah, let's start off with a fairy lesson. Flirting is similar to teasing, okay? So this is going to reinforce my point here. This is actually from Martha's profile, which is actually really convenient. This wasn't intentional. I did not do this by intention. This was really convenient. So as you can see here in her profile, she finds it attractive if guys bully her. Now, by all means, this does not mean bully a girl by insulting her, hitting her, etc. Some guys will straight up make fun of a girl in a way that is considered really rude and not mannered, and it doesn't work. It doesn't pan out. Some girls take a lot of offense to it and they end up getting rejected. The girl trashes them, this and that, this and this, right? If you do that, you could even get into court and you could get a case. This is the problem. A lot of guys think you need to be this attractive, handsome 10 out of 10 man that needs to be beautiful or whatever, right? Like these giga chads. That's not true. A lot of guys are like, oh, the only time I can approach a girl or flirt with a girl is if I have the looks. Guys, that's not true. You just got to know how to flirt properly. It's an art. It's a delicate skill. I'll tell you that. It is a delicate skill. And looks does not matter. I'm telling you now. As long as you're not, hairy and you're not ungroomed and you've got bum fluff on your face, this and that, right? Like, you'll be fine. I'm telling you that now, okay? Now, let me explain to you what she means by bullying. This girl here has specifically put this in her profile, and I'm telling you now, universally, all girls love being bullied and teased. If you're in a relationship, or if you've ever been in a relationship, if you've noticed, girls are very playful in the relationship, even during, sex, when you're in the act, right? Like, they want to be mistreated, misused in a playful way. It's what they like. But there's a skill to doing it right, which I'll be showing you in this video. So what this girl means by being, bullied is having playful teasing, such as messing with her hair or poking fun at a certain factor about her. So in an example that I can take from her, she's pushing her tits together, which you can bring up in this picture on the right. She's quite literally trying to make her tits look larger, just so she looks hotter in the picture. That is literally what she is doing. You cannot look at that picture and deny that. It's the truth. A lot of people do these small things in pictures. For example, in pictures, sometimes I try to make myself look tall. Even though I'm 6'3", sometimes I'll get on my tiptoes. It's just what people do, these small little remarks. And when you bring them up in the right context, with the right tricks, with the right maneuvers, it can be attractive. And I'll show you how I do that with this girl in this video. So yeah, this is going to lead into them being small, right? So you don't just say straight away, you have small tits, right? If you say that straight away, you're going to pretty much just push her away. You're going to make her feel insecure. she's going to end up unmatching you. She's not going to stick around, right? You have to approach her slowly, and I call this pre-framing, which I'll break down for you if you just stick with me, okay? You have to see if she reciprocates your vibe, and if she's able to give text back and forth that allow you to progress forward and more forward, then you understand what I mean. You'll see. So just stick around, okay? So here's a practical lesson. Let me show you an actual practical example. So as you can see here in this example, I use a stereotype of girls with tattoos being bad for relationships. I essentially brought up how she is a red flag because of tattoos. Now, most girls do actually look unattractive with tattoos, but this girl looks fairly cute with them. So one of the common misconceptions about girls is when they have tattoos, they're not good quality material. Like, they're not good girls. Like, you don't want to be in a relationship with those girls. This is something that's commonly spread, and girls know this. So whenever you see a girl with like an angel tattoo or some butterfly tattoo, avoid them at all costs. Now, I brought this up in a lighter manner, and I didn't directly actually bring up her tattoos, okay? All I said is she's a red flag. And basically what that does is it hints there's something wrong with her, but in a very playful, suggestive way. And this is how you tease a girl, okay? Now, if I directly approached her about her tattoos and said, you have a butterfly tattoo, you ran through this and that, which is what a lot of guys would say, and they would say, this, like, they would just say a lot of things that are just not right. Like, you just offend her. That's what you'd do. And offending a girl isn't the right maneuver, right? Like, I hear a lot of red pill gurus say, oh, you need to offend the girl. No, it's completely different. There's a difference between offense, bullying, and flirting and teasing. This is a very complicated topic that is very delicate, which we're going to be touching on. So in this situation, what I did is I just called her a red flag, and she responded positively, right? And because the response is playful, it means to me that I could take a playful approach. She quite literally says, moms don't like me, Rowan. As long as you do, that's fine. So as you can see at the top there, I said to her that my mom wouldn't like you because you look like you're a Lexapro. Now, this is also a risky text. If you call out a girl for being antidepressants that looks like she's taking antidepressants, you could get into some serious shit. Some girls may like it, some girls won't. I have another example from another girl from one of my previous videos who does actually take antidepressants, and I called her a vegetable. But I said this very later in, like, far into the conversation when she got to know me, which made her more attracted to me. But if I said at the start, she would have lost attraction. But back to this so you don't get confused, right? This is a very complicated topic, and also it's a two-part series. So what I did here is I went into my flirting with a more bold approach. After she gave me, pretty good green flags, she was giving me the sign and the go ahead to push for, flirting with more bold moves. I was like, let me take it to the next level. Now I compare it to alcohol, of her being like a headache, but I'd still drink it regardless. And in the actual red box, you can actually see she loves this comparison. She gets a fair comparison, and her being like alcohol is pretty much, her ideal way to look at her. She's saying that I'm like alcohol. Even though I'm not good for you, you're still going to keep coming back anyway. She resonates with that. That to her is what she wants to be seen as. Now, not every girl wants to be compared to alcohol because, for example, if you talk to a religious girl or a girl that, doesn't drink, that might tick her off. But if you just take one look at this girl, you can tell she goes out on the nights, nights out every weekend. She gets drunk. She does drugs probably. She does all sorts of stupid shit. You can draw insights just from her profile. And I mean, her bio literally says, won't be the one, but well worth the detour. And she has on her, her profile, still figure it out, short-term fun or something. With these girls, you can draw insights and you can pull them forward. If you said something like this to the wrong type of girl, she wouldn't like it. This is what I mean when I describe codes. There's different codes for each and every single girl, and every girl has different needs, different tastes, different ways of flirting. Some girls, you have long flirty conversations, and some girls, you have short ones. So let me give you a few takeaways of what went on actually here, right? So I want you to get a deeper understanding. So what actually happened here is I poked fun at her tattoos indirectly to gauge if she is the playful type. So it's straightforward, pretty simple. All I did is just to gauge her personality, her style, her vibe. All I did is just poke very lightly, just, you know what I mean? Like graze it, like not too much, not too far, like not too low, just enough so I can understand. Now, I worked this out from her responding to my bold message pretty positively, and the triple text, right? Pretty obvious stuff. This is a really good sign. She hearted my reply, triple text, and she flew with it, and she gave an incentive herself. That is perfect. That is the kind of reply you want from a girl. Then I increased the boldness to build more attraction since she was showing positive signs of attraction. By increasing the boldness, what I did is I compared it to a bottle of alcohol. And as I said, this is very bold, and as we progress, you'll see how much more it gets. It gets more intense. And then after I compared her to alcohol, I basically drawed from the fact this is definitely a party girl, and she's a degenerate, right? Like, she's a degenerate. It's just the truth. Some guys are degenerates. I was a degenerate in my younger years, and, some of you guys watching this are as well. It depends on the person, right? Like their vibes are completely different. If you're talking to mature women, you're going to treat them in a mature way. If you're talking to a younger girl, you're going to probably expect them to be more degenerate. So that makes sense. Now, guys, every girl is different, right? Okay, as I just said, some girls are degenerate party girls and some are more traditional. So that means you must use different codes. Please, please, please do not use these lines on the wrong type of girl, because all you're going to do is you're going to lose a girl and then you're going to think this stuff doesn't work. This stuff absolutely works. I'm telling you now, it's worked for years. It's worked for me since I was a little kid, basically, when I was like 15, 16, 17, 18, all the way to now, okay? It's going to keep working as long as you just apply what I'm telling you. Anyway, let me show you another conversation, okay? In this conversation, as you can see, this girl is entirely a different vibe. Entirely a different vibe. This conversation is more long. She's completely different. She doesn't give me the party girl vibes. She does seem, like the type of girl that is, easy to sleep with, but not the same as Martha. Martha is completely different. Martha is the, like, party girl, basically. This girl is not. This girl is, like, the shy girl. It's completely different. It's that simple, right? So this girl's clearly aiming for a long-term relationship. I mean, you can see that, looking for long-term, open to short. Now, guys, looking for, right, in the Tinder, like, their relationship desire, you can sleep with any girl on the first date, guaranteed. But people will still look for that relationship. That's their goal. It doesn't mean that just because some girl has a long-term relationship in her looking for, in the bottom right, like as you can see, that's not 100% what true. What that means is that's the goal, but if they come along with a guy that they can have sex with that they want because the guy used the right levers and the right tricks, they'll do it. That's what it means. That's the goalpost, but they're okay with taking a detour of, having sex with random dudes. So whenever you see a long-term relationship on a girl's profile, do not get discouraged and think this girl is not going to sleep with me on the first date. That's not true. I've slept with plenty of girls that had long-term relationship, and I know plenty of dudes that have as well. It's not true. It's a lie. And all it is just that's what they want, but they're also going to want to have sex with hot guys and guys that, know how to text, guys that know game, if that makes sense. So as you can see here, I have to drop my ego with this girl and treat her like a child, and I have to promise her a dream. The messages I'm sending here, I would personally say these would make me shrivel up if, one of my best friends saw it. They're just not. So they're not the type of messages that would suit me. I'm way too masculine. I have way too much, like, ego, right? Like, I don't want to say this shit. But guess what? This is what girls really like. They like a guy that can drop their ego. And as you can see, that's exactly what I've done. I literally promised her the world. I'm not even going to read that out loud, because if I read that out loud in my head and I just feel like, what the fuck am I doing, right? Like, you're going to feel that. But guess what? Girls are going to love it. Have you ever been in a relationship and you're with your girlfriend, right? Or you're with a girl and she wants to take a picture and she whips out her phone and you're, being, like very feminine, like very cute. You're like, you put your arm around her, this and that, kissing her. And as soon as she whips out her phone, you like straight up just make a straight serious face. You stop, putting your hand in front of your chest. Like, you've seen that, right? Like, every guy does it. Because they know that if that picture gets out with them cuddling with their girlfriend, they're going to lose respect. But girls want you to do that. They want to be the girl that can bring your walls down, your barriers down, to bring that vulnerable side out of you. That's what they want to do. And that's the type of men they like. The type of men who start off as this fierce, immovable object that can't be moved, like can't be persuaded. But they're the ones that do it. It's their fantasy. To run into a guy that is this stoic, mysterious guy that answers to no one, that does whatever the fuck he wants. But then they're the ones that can take control of them and stop them. If you've noticed, a lot of girls watch these like what is it? I don't even Teen Wolf or some shit. Like, they love these guys that go out of control and can't be controlled by people, but when they're in the picture, they can put their hand on them or some shit. Like, and they're like, oh, he's under my control now. It's an ego thing. They're like, I tamed the beast. It's cringe, right? Like, you're probably listening and you're like, what the fuck is this guy saying? Why is he chatting this shit? But it's the truth. If you don't want to listen to me, like, I'm more than happy for you to click off this video. And I'll be honest with you, most people probably would have had, because they probably thought I'm saying is nuts. But it's the truth. Women have an ego. They want a guy that answers to them and no one else. Now, that does not mean you should worship your girl and give them the world, right? It's all false promises and a fallacy. What you want to do is you want to sprinkle it in. Sometimes you give them a few things. You take them out to a dinner. Sometimes you don't. And you can vary this. You can mess around with this. You can get girls to pay for you. I mean, I've got a guy that I'm working with who I've helped literally get 4 girls for an OnlyFans. So now he's doing OnlyFans management because I ran his Tinder account and got him several girls, and now he's turning to OnlyFans management. And I'm telling you now, you can do anything with girls. Girls are like the most easiest to manipulate creatures, as evil as that sounds. Okay, like there's nothing that comes close. Men are not easy to manipulate because men have a big ego, and it's hard to manipulate people with a big ego. Obviously, you can manipulate anyone at the end of the day, but let me just put this disclaimer in. This is all for educational purposes. Please don't censor me, YouTube. Anyway, moving forward. Let's go back to Marva and the differences in how I flirted with her. So yeah, guys, use this for ethical reasons. I swear to God, please. Like, I'm not taking responsibility of what you guys do with these tips. Anyway, so as you can see here, I draw insights from the fact she is a legal assistant. So on this profile, this girl says she's a legal assistant. So what I did is I turned this boring role into something sexual and flirty. Now, since lawyers are considered good at arguing, even if this is untrue and just bullshit fantasy talk, right, it's going to make her more attracted to me. That's as simple as it gets, right? And I finalize the sexualization in this message by combining arguing with missionary. So now I've taken a boring topic, I've taken a skill set, and I've taken something sexual and I combined the three. So not only did I call her skilled, I called her, I turned her legal, boring assistant job into something hot. And I've also said that, we can argue and missionary and this and that. And I also include the 3 a.m., which girls really like, having sex randomly at 3 a.m. These are all little insights you can draw. So let me think of another example. If a girl is a waitress or a bartender, an example that I could use for her is she would be good at making drinks. I mean, that's pretty much a given or an obvious one. Now, I would say to a girl like that we can make some cocktails at the weekend and then I'll bend you over the counter. Like, seriously, you can take little insights just like that one and you can draw them and then you can combine the elements and it makes it super duper exciting. So as you can see here, this is what you call a strong vibe from a girl. She responded with a very, very strong vibe. So she says, I'm great at arguing and multitasking, so it sounds like a plan. So this is essentially her following the flow of flirting. This is quite literally her, essentially, she's taken the fact that we're flirting with her and she's given back. This is perfect. This is what you want from a girl. This is when a conversation is going good because I use the right signals, the right green flags, and I got the results from it. Now, as you can see, I take it to the next level and I use insider knowledge that most girls fake orgasms. Now, this is actually true because most guys do struggle with sex. Most guys are not the best at sex, and most guys don't know how to make a girl finish. They don't know the tricks. They don't know how to perform. And obviously on YouTube, I can't discuss how to have good sex because I'm already, struggling with YouTube censoring me. Anyway, so what you do here is essentially, I reaffirm her with flirting, telling her she's never going to have to fake any orgasms at all. Because they do fake orgasms. And at the end of the day, as a guy, it's hard to make a girl orgasm if you don't understand the emotional triggers of what girls want. If you understand what girls want, you could literally have a 3-inch cock and you can make a girl orgasm. Like, seriously, I've worked with guys that, were not in the best shape and they had literally 2-inch, 3-inch cocks. Like, I'm telling you, I worked with a crazy number of dudes. And honestly, as a guy that, is 6'2", right, and is decently attractive, I've taken care of myself. I thought looks did matter in the past. But as I did this and I ran more and more accounts, I realized looks doesn't mean shit. Like, looks doesn't mean shit. All these people are like, oh, no, looks matter, this and that. It doesn't mean shit. I'm telling you now. Every guy I've spoken to, they're like, you know what? You're fucking right. Looks doesn't mean shit. All looks exist for is just coping for the fact that you need to feel confident about yourself. That's all it is. It doesn't matter. Girls don't give a shit. Now, as you can see, she follows the flow, the vibe of my flirting, but she puts me back in control. Now, this is suggesting we should try them out. She suggests we should try our ideas out, and essentially, she has no further insights. So this isn't too ideal of a situation to be in if you don't know what you're doing, because now she's put the control of the ball back in your court. So what this means is you got to take control and you got to carry the conversation. So as you can see here, this is exactly what I do. I take it to the next level and I present a new bold opportunity. Ask her, what is your favorite position? Now, this is risky to ask, but with green lights presented to me, I knew it would work. And it did. As you can see here, she's straight up just told me doggy, right? Like, that's literally it. And not only that, she's used the emoji with the kissing symbol. This is like next level flirting. Some girls are like doggy, like straight up, like very boring. With the emoji, that's the next level, because that is, just next level flirting. It's just very party girl like. This is like, I don't use emojis because I'm like a really older guy. Like, seriously, I don't use them. But for a 20-year-old girl to use that, it's very normal, and it's a good sign. Anyway, so what did we learn here? So far, what you need to understand is flirting requires you to drop your ego. Okay. You need to accept that girls will say, you need to say silly things. Like, you need to call her your little legal assistant, arguing missionary. You're probably going to shrivel up and go, no, I'm not saying that. That's going to destroy my manhood. Well, the thing is, if you are insecure in your masculinity to not say these things, then you're not going to get girls, and that makes you less masculine. Some of the most masculine men I know on the planet literally say some of the most crazy things ever. Like they say some of the weirdest things on text. Like I saw one of my guys that I was texting on the behalf, and the girl was like, "When am I gonna get to see you? When am I gonna get to see you?" And he was like, "Oh, time will tell." And then he said something like, "What was it?" He said, "The heart grows fonder and more weary as we're apart, which leads to better moments in time," or something. Some stupid poetry. And guess what? The girl creamed over this shit. Like it's so weird. Like poetry is probably one of the best things you can study. I'm being serious. Like if you want to get girls, just study poetry or just watch my videos. Anyway, this is the skills that the most girls cherish, right? They cherish it, guys. If you could sweet talk this girl into bed, you will get any girl. Like any girl in the planet, you name her. If you can sweet talk, you can sweet talk her into bed. You can sweet talk any man's girl into bed. It is not hard because girls will fall for words. Now, when it comes to men, words don't mean shit. Because we know talk is the cheapest thing on the planet, and the price has never gone up and it never will. The value will never fucking go up. Talk is the cheapest thing on the fucking planet. But to girls, talk is the most beautiful, most lovely, luxurious thing there is, okay? And if this is sexist, it's the truth. You can see in proof here that women love talking. They just love yapping, they love hearing false delusions. For men, we prefer action. That's why we're so logical with these girls. That's why we're so neurotypical. And that's what puts us at a disadvantage. Now, even a girl as cute as Martha, I regularly score girls like this regularly for myself, right? And even my guys, I get them hotter girls sometimes than what I could get. Because I put extra effort when I work with them, right? Obviously, when it's my profile, I don't really give a shit because like I'm gonna half-ass it. Like I've had my fair share of fun when I was younger. I've been with the girls. I've done the shit, and because of that, I'm kind of lazy now. Like I don't care. I'll just go with the easiest girl I can get. But when it comes to actively trying and wanting girls, you're gonna have to learn the skills. And when you learn the skills, you get results like Martha. Now, if you don't think she's attractive, good for you. Maybe you can get more hotter girls. But if you look at my previous videos, you can see you can attract a wide variety of girls. I helped guys attract girls that are big, small, attractive, models, all sorts. For this video, though, I'm going to stick with her. So I hope this video is giving you insights to how I text and how I think. The whole point of this video is to give you the whys, the hows, the thoughts. What is Deni Ops thinking when he is saying these things? Why is he saying these things? And with that, I want you to apply it to your brain so that you can use it to get really fucking good results. Anyway, continuing on with Martha. So as you can see here, I ramp it up. Okay, I ramp it up. And as you remember in the earlier text, I asked her, what is your favorite position, right? And she said doggy. Now this is where I take it to the heat of the level. I quite literally tell her she needs a fat ass for me to grip during doggy, right? And now I knew, obviously this girl does not have a big ass because as you can see on the pictures, she's one of those small, sleek, like, how do you pronounce, slim build girls. Like she's really small, petite even. Now she has nice tits and she has a good face card, but she doesn't have ass. Now I use push and pull tactics by calling her out on that. And if you do this too soon, it could end in chaos. So as you can see here, straight away she goes, let me read this to you. Unfortunately, I don't have a big ass, but I make up for it in other ways. So as you can see, she's playing into it. She's not insecure of what I've said. She's not objectifying. She's not saying, what the fuck, you can't say that. She's essentially allowing me to proceed. And this is why green lights are so good. Saying this to the wrong girl will get you reported, unmatched, this and that. So many problems. Just a hectic, chaotic problem. You're probably going to get your Tinder account banned, this and that, and it's just terrible. Unless you know what you're doing and you know you've watched these videos and you're an expert, you're going to struggle. Because Tinder has a new bullshit rule that if you sexualize girls and flirt with them, unfortunately, they will ban your account, which is really dumb. But I have never had an account banned for that because I've just got the experience. Now, when I was probably younger, this rule didn't exist, but I probably would have got banned. Because if you remember my texts from last year, they were crazy. I'm telling you now, they were crazy. If you want to see some of the craziest text messages on the planet, go watch the old videos. I had girls literally explaining stuff from 50 Shades of Grey. Seriously. It was crazy. Anyway, I continue the conversation here and bring up an incentive of my guy having an 8-inch cock. Now, even if this is untrue, guys, during sex, she is not going to bring up a fucking measuring tape, okay? Seriously, guys, how do you think this is going to fucking go? How is this shit going to go? She takes your dick out during sex, and then she goes, hey, this is not an 8-inch cock. I'm leaving you. Think about it, guys. She won't give a shit, okay? It's the thought that counts. As long as you're not fucking packing 3 or 4 inches, you can get away with, say, 8 inches. Even if you're a bloody 6-inch guy, you can get away with it. I'm telling you now, how's this going to go? Hey, you told me that you're 8 inches on Tinder. You're not 8 inches. I'm not going to let you put your dick inside me. Guys, Think about it, please. If you meet a girl and you say that you're 6'2" and you're actually 5'9", she's not gonna fucking pull out a measuring tape and go, "You're not 6'2". I'm going home." I'm telling you now, all these guys that don't want to tell girls these sorts of things, like, you just have a big ego and you need to drop it. Seriously, you're just disadvantaging yourself. Because there are dudes out there that are 6'2" that say they're 6'5", and I'm fucking one of them. I'm 6'3" and I say I'm 6'4" or 5 just because it's fucking funny and these girls will never know. You're disadvantaging yourself. You're seriously disadvantaging yourself. Because the dudes that are doing it, they're causing this inflation effect where 5'9" is now considered being below average and short. Girls think 6 foot is 5'9". The amount of times I have to stress this and I still hear guys saying, "I'm not lying about my height." Good. If you say you're 5'9" to a girl that's 5'5", like, you're disadvantaged. There's more pussy for the guys who are willing to do it. That's the truth. No girl's gonna whip out a measuring tape. Just seriously, like, just take a minute to think. Like, just think about it for a second. She's not gonna think, okay? And she's not gonna do that, okay? Just think about it. Anyway, now she sends a concealing tactic, right? And this is basically where she's putting incentive on that we have to see her and we have something to look forward to. This is a really good sign of attraction and green light. So what she said is, "I can't give everything away, can I?" Now, if she just over-explained and blurted out everything, that would take away from the fun of, my guy meeting her. Now, personally, I would rather she did that, but this is also good because it means she wants to save it for the actual date and when they have sex together. So what did we learn here then? So far, what we learned is, as we flirt more and more, we can amp up the pressure and we can get more sexual. And then, for example, I literally told this girl her ass is small, and as I said, if you do this normally, a girl will cry. She will quite literally break down into tears, report your account, and bye-bye Tinder account. But with this girl, with the pre-framing and tactics I used, it worked well. And as I said, if you do it right, you can literally frame it as anything. You could call a girl out for anything. You could literally talk about dead parents if you do it right. I think I've had a guy where her mum died and her dad died, and my guy literally said, "Oh, your parents are alive. That's great because now I don't have to meet your parents or whatever, and we can do whatever the fuck we want. We can get up to general shit." Like, you can say stupid shit and get away with it. Like, I'm telling you now, there's so many examples I could give off the top of my head, but I just didn't include in my notes. So I apologize, but you're just gonna have to wait until the next video anyway. Now, as I was saying, this is called pre-framing, and the power of it is pretty simple. It's about laying foundation stones in preparation for one after the other, so that they all lead to the end goal of success. So that is the end of this video, and I hope this guide has helped my fellow men out. So anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope that this has helped.